Hello and welcome back to Shelf Center. This is Bryce. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If this is something you end up enjoying. You never know, it could happen. We've got ourselves a book haul here today. Got a bunch of stuff. There was an Audible book sale, so that's on me. But it's starting to get out of hand here, so I figured better have a book haul video. Let's jump into, first of all, the Kindle books. So these are actually both review copies. We've kind of entered the phase where I told myself a million times I was going to slow down, take it easy on review copies, but some are just so hard to resist, so here we are. Anyway, I've got The Crimes of Rooker Flynn by A.R. Witham. This is one that I absolutely loved, the first book in the series. So, of course, without a doubt, I was absolutely going to be picking up the next one, and he was nice enough to send it to me. I've been, done some collaborations and a whole readathon last year, so absolutely happy to support because absolutely a great author. The Legend of Blackjack is just so much fun. I cannot recommend it enough. It's so much fun. Then had the author reach out. Hell for Hire by Rachel Aaron. I've been hearing so many good things from Rachel Aaron for so long that it was like, yes, please, would be happy to accept a review copy. Without a doubt, and I have a bunch of books on my list, and I can't wait to get to those too. But The Legend of Eli Monpress is one big one. I'd mentioned even just recently I got her kind of I think it's like an RPG, lit RPG type series that just seems cool, like a Portal Fantasy. Anyway, was not without hesitation, was happy to accept that, so thank you. I do tell everyone that I can't necessarily promise reviews for anything, but I'm happy to feature them in videos like this, and also just I want to. It's not like I don't want to read all the books in the world. It's just that there's only so much time in the day. So here we are. All right, let's get into audio. This is going to be a while here, but there was already a deal, and I already used a 2-for-1 for credits, and then they have an 85% off plus sale or whatever. So I can't resist. Clearly, I have problems. That's the main thing. The main takeaway. And I probably need to not sign up for Audible next year so I can take a break here and actually listen to all the books I bought. So anyway, first of all, this is actually a review copy, hence why it's first. Heirs to a Flawed Creation by E.L. Montague. I actually don't know how to pronounce your last name, so I apologize, but absolutely happy to pick this up or accept as a review copy. I know what EL has done for the community, just a big part, and so happy to accept that. Then I picked up Ghost Road Blues. It's book 1 in the Pine Deep trilogy, I believe. By Jonathan Mayberry. I've had good experience with Mayberry in the past. Patient Zero, I think, is what I read. It didn't blow me away, but it was good, and it was good, and I'm happy to read some more. So I'm excited to get some more into this. The Lions of Al Rassan by Guy Gavriel Kay. I already have it in book form, so I can do the total immersive reading on that one. You never know. It was also on a super good deal because it was 2-for-1, so I also got Reamed. Is that how you pronounce it? It's like remade but jumbled up by Neil Stevenson. Grabbed them both. Why not? It was a 2-for-1. But I am doing, this is a read along coming up here very shortly. Probably will be my next read potentially. So we'll see. Right, on to the sale selections. First, I'm going to go through the freebies that I grabbed because I always grab them, and they're technically, I got them from Audible, but you never know when they're going to just be up, and usually it's by the time I finally get around to them, and then I'm like, oh, I've only had 2 years to get to this, and now you're going to take it away? So I get it. It's my own problem. All right, but I grabbed the Book of Lost Things because, as you'll see, I did not quite get to that book over my vacation. That's by John Connolly. Wanted to, but did not. Then Sebastian de Castell's got tons of books up for just part of the catalog if you're a member of Audible. Traitor's Blade, Knight's Shadow, Saint's Blood, Tyrant's Throne. I think it's is it 5 books in that series? But there's 4 of them at least. Hey, what am I supposed to do? I only heard great things about de Castell. Then some Brandon Sanderson. Again, the freebies. Warbreaker is apparently just for grabs if you have an Audible membership. I already have read Warbreaker and I loved it. So, I mean, what if I need a reread someday? I don't know. I heard it's Cosmere related, and it's been like 10 years now. So I need to brush up probably. Then I got Infinity Blade and Infinity Blade Awakening. I actually Already read, I believe, Infinity Blade, whatever's the first in that series, which I think is that. Maybe it's Awakening that would be the first. I don't know. That makes sense too. But also by Brandon Sanderson. I had played the mobile game. This was a really fun game at first until it's like, oh, it's just like the same thing, and then you just have to buy more stuff, and I never did, and so then I just got slaughtered, and it became kind of boring because it was a slog after that. But it was a fun game for a while. Then I grabbed I, Claudius by Robert Graves. It's just been on my list forever. I know it's not sci-fi or fantasy, but it was there. Then Blue Remembered Earth, Alistair Reynolds. Got to get back on my Alistair Reynolds read. I keep saying that, but here we are. Then Stronghold by Melanie Ron. That is one that I was kind of like, maybe this is a good push to actually read the book someday. Read the sequel trilogy, because I love the Dragon Prince trilogy. This is the, what is it? Dragon Star, I think, trilogy. So that's the book number 1. Then we've got 3 from David Brin. I have these, they're all over the place, whether it's sci-fi or fantasy. It's just in the order that I grabbed them. Sundiver, Startide Rising, and The Uplift War. I've heard great things about that trilogy. I actually owned it all at one point. It just did not survive a move. But now they're back, and it's easier to move audiobooks. That you don't have to download all of them at once. This is one I've been meaning to get to. Alan, Library of Alexandria, has been speaking its praises. Essentially as another Flintlock fantasy, but not Brian McClellan. The Thousand Names by Django Wexler. So I'm excited to get to that. Then somehow, I don't know how, and maybe I should check if there's more, Diana Wynne Jones' Castle in the Air, so a sequel to Howl's Moving Castle, which I absolutely love. I'm actually reading right now with one of my daughters. One of my other daughters likes to say that she doesn't want to read it with us, but then she tends to end up reading. So I got you. I know it because it's good. It's hard not to. But at least they both love the anime, so there you go. Then I grabbed Paper and Fire by Rachel Kane. This is The Great Library. I think that's the name of the trilogy, or multiple books more than that. I don't know. Number 2. I love the first one. I read it. I remember on a vacation, just blazed through it in 2 days. And then I don't know why I never picked up the rest of them, but here we are, because I'm easily excitable and sidetrackable. Then we got The Red Wolf Conspiracy by Robert V.S. Reddick. Now this is I think the third version of this book. Oh, I'm excited. I've only heard good things about it, and I love nautical themes. I know some people don't, but I do. I really do. Then I grabbed The Other Lands by David Anthony Durham. I've been thinking, because I have the third in this trilogy on my list to read on my TBR for this year. I really want to get to it, and I was like, I probably need a reread of that before I get into the third one, because it's been a while. Then American Elsewhere by Robert Jackson Bennett. Already read it, love it, and again, it was just a download that I might as well, what if I want to reread it? Because I have all this time to just reread everything, clearly. Then I grabbed, this author's going to come up in ones that I actually bought, but these were the freebies, the Soldier Sun trilogy, the whole trilogy, Shaman's Crossing, Forest Mage, and Renegade Magic. I've heard this is probably the weakest of the Hobb books, but I still think Weak Hobb is probably pretty good still. I don't know, that's my thought. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Could be wrong, who knows. All right, then books that I did actually purchase from Audible. They're $1 to $2 to $3, sometimes $4 a piece. What are you gonna do? But I grabbed, because I already read the first Sandman Slim, and I want to read some more. So we've got Kill the Dead, Aloha from Hell, and Devil Said Bang by Richard Kadrey. Then I grabbed The Engineer by Will White. That's Last Horizon number 2. So I actually already have the first one. Now I've got the second one. The third one I think is just coming out here. So it's on its way. That's probably why Will White's always been nice and about pretty much giving his books away all the time. So I really appreciate that. Then the first of 2, but the first, The God Is Not Willing by Stephen Erickson. I'm trying to collect the Erickson books, because they're so good on reread, all of them, especially the Malazan related Erickson books. I didn't go all Malazan though this time, and so they're just great. So they're perfect kind of for an audiobook on a reread. I don't necessarily recommend them for audio on first read. At least for me, unless you have maybe the book to be able to look at the front and the back glossary and all these things to kind of figure out where the heck you are. Then I grabbed Fool's Fate, Tawny Man #3 by Robin Hobb. This completes that trilogy for me, so I actually have them all, and I would like to keep going in the realm of the Elderlings there. So there you go. Still going though. Those are some completions. Now, of course, we've got to start a ton of new stuff. I grabbed the complete Father Brown collection, G.K. Chesterton. I really like The Man Who Was Thursday. I have fond memories of that, so I've heard good things about his other writings. He's quotable. Then I grabbed Transformation by Carol Berg. I was like, maybe this will get me to read some Carol Berg finally. That has been on my list for far too long. Literally one of my original TBR from like 15 years ago now. It's crazy. Then Stations of the Tide by Michael Swanwick. This is, very like beloved author in certain circles, so you never know. Then I also grabbed The Iron Dragon's Daughter by Michael Swanwick. That's kind of like his big book that is well known. They're the most well known. So I'm excited to finally read some Swanwick. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. Nobody knows. Ever. Then a couple Catherine M. Valenti books. I got Deathless, and I have it on Kindle. And then this one, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. I've been trying to read it. I have the book. Even gave it to my daughters to read because I haven't gotten to it. But I love those titles because they're just super ridiculously long, and that just strikes me as funny, and I feel like I will really like these. All right, then I went all in on the Echoes of Empire series, so I grabbed The Garden of Stones, The Obsidian Heart, and The Pillars of Sand by Mark T. Barnes. I actually had read The Garden of Stones ages ago, but as I'm wont to do, was sidetracked, kind of had put it away, but I'm like, for super cheap trilogy to buy, I grabbed them, and I do plan on reading them. I would like to read them. They were really good. At least The Garden of Stones was really good. I can't say the rest. I haven't read the rest. Then I grabbed Santiago by Mike Resnick. This is one that I promised to read another thing by this author because I think it was The Fortress of the Pearl or something like that. The Fortress of the something. It was not my favorite book, to say the least. You should see my review on Goodreads. I was just like, I had like 3 different reviews making fun of it because it was just ridiculous. It was like, this place is super hard to get into and it's really crazy and nobody can do it. And then they like do it and there's like almost 0 problems in their way. And then you're like, what were we even doing here? Like, what does this even give us? Anyway. Sorry if I spoiled that for you. Anyway, that's what I did. All right, then one day I would like to actually finish this, tetralogy. And so I grabbed The Rise of Endymion and Endymion by Dan Simmons. I loved the first book, Hyperion. The Fall of Hyperion was just such a different book. Took a completely different just approach to the whole structure and everything than book 1. So it was like jarring, like it was shocking that it was so different. So it kind of just was like, and you could kind of put them, like take a break because then the rest of these are a little just from a different kind of perspective. So I just kind of put them down for the second. I would like to reread those one day, again, in all my free time, but grab those. I would like to actually finish these. I do love Dan Simmons and his work, but I really loved Hyperion, and then I liked a lot The Fall of Hyperion, but just not nearly as much as just how amazing Hyperion was. And then I grabbed Gateway by Frederick Pohl. This is recommended to me like a while ago, and so I figured I'd finally get it. All right, then I grabbed a couple by Chris Wooding. These are just, I love Chris Wooding, great author, really just punchy and gets right, and just great plots. So Velocity and then Poison. And then I grabbed, these are, again, I'm trying to finish off trilogies here. The Brilliance Trilogy, A Better World, and Written in Fire. I grabbed those 2. I've heard really good things about them, but I liked book 1. Again, this was too many books I'd grabbed at the time, I read this, probably 10 years ago again, the first book, and now I would like to finish this trilogy someday. All right, then I grabbed, this is one, it's Stephen Erickson, and I love Stephen Erickson, but it's a non-Malazan. It's Rejoice, A Knife to the Heart. And I heard Jenny Wirtz talking about it the other day on the stream that I was on with her, which was so amazing. But her and Steven Erickson, which is just like boggles my mind here, talking about how great this book was. And so I was like, oh yeah, I don't know why I don't have it. So anyway, now I have it. And then I grabbed, because I've been meaning to read H.L. Tinsley's We Men of Ash and Shadow, and so I grabbed that. That was more of just it was cheap on Whisper Sync because I already own the book. All right, let's get to the physical copies here. This is really what everyone comes for, I know. That was just my audio book. My gosh, how many was that? It was ridiculous. I didn't even count. But anyway, this was a Tor.com published book as a request, so it's a review copy, so they send these nice little brochures to let us know how it is. But I figured I'd get back into some more requests. Tor's always been good to me, and so it gave me this nice review copy, so I'm excited to read some Adrian Tchaikovsky for the first time. It's about time. All right, I couldn't this is one of those, like, not only do I love the cover, but James Logan is he's a former blogger that I absolutely love from Speculative Horizons, so I had to get his debut book. Absolutely. Here we go. Look at that cover. I mean, it looks good on the shelf regardless of whether you're going to read it or not, but I plan to. So anyway, wanted to give this one a go and very much looking forward to it. Then I couldn't resist. So I didn't get Holly when that came out last year, I believe, because I haven't read any of that trilogy that comes from. But You Like It Darker is short story collections. Some are continuing, I think, from books, so I need to go get better read in Stephen King. I mean, apparently 20 plus books isn't nearly enough to be well read in Stephen King books. It's not even a third, I don't think, of all of his books. But anyway, You Like It Darker. I love this cover. It's very embossed here with this, I think it's a crocodile. Crocodile, I think, has the teeth right there. And it's embossed even the crocodile, so I think that's pretty cool. So anyway. All right, this one I'm so excited about. I actually just ran a giveaway for this book, but not my book. I received an advanced reading copy from Harper Voyager that I know that Jenny Wirtz had to pull a lot of strings to get to me, and I cannot thank her enough. This is so cool. It's such a huge crowning achievement. The final book, book 11 in the Wars of Light and Shadow. We have it. It's here, and it's beautiful. The author does the covers too, and this is probably my favorite one. It's just, there's so much going on with it. And then, of course, because I'm a supportive fan, I also bought my copy. So here's my hardcover version of it. So now I've got the two. And I ran a giveaway because I am so happy that Jenny Wirtz is finally getting her due. It's about time, and I am so excited that the world is getting to know this wonderful, wonderful series. And I hope she takes a little bit of a break, but she can't. I know she's not that kind of person. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, very excited for this, and how cool is that? Man, that is a chonker, and I love it. So anyway, that's my huge book haul. I start keeping kind of track of what I'm buying on a list, and then suddenly this one just ballooned, as they do when there's a sale. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Anything catch your fancy, let me know in the comments. We'll catch you later. Bye.